I have a new camera. This is the Canon EOS M50 and I'm still using my lavalier mic, which is on my chest. And this is just such a nicer experience. I don't have to have my phone set up. I'm not mirroring to my laptop because I have a screen that's pointing towards me. And I can leave this set up rather than having to fiddle with my phone every time. So hopefully that should help with a much higher output of videos. And I think, I can't see based on the screen on the camera, but I think the quality is much, much higher. I haven't played in any settings yet, but I'm looking forward to diving into that. So I also wanted to do a quick ad-lib video, just talking about the differences as I see them between attention and awareness, because I use these words a lot and they mean very different things, although they're clearly highly interlinked. So for me, attention is something that you can aim at something. It's a narrowed laser spotlight type thing. You move your attention from thing to thing. It's largely one thing held in attention, and this is what we normally think about when we think about what's important to us, and our attention will follow that. So right now I'm attentive to looking at the screen. I'm attentive to being part of this recording experience, and this is very familiar, I guess, to most people. Now, attention moves around within awareness. So right now, while I'm looking at the lens, I am aware of the sunlight coming into the window. I'm aware of the feeling of my body against the chair on the floor. I'm aware of people walking past and sounds and all that kind of thing, while keeping my attention on the lens or on talking about this, and occasionally looking over at the picture of myself, which is something to manage, I think. So this is important, because I think that the discourse around mindfulness largely doesn't cover the awareness stuff in quite the same way as the attentional stuff. So when we sit to meditate, we train ourselves to focus or to notice what comes up in awareness. So concentration meditation is focus on the breath and keep focusing, bring it back to the breath. Or kind of open would be like, okay, what's coming up? Let me notice that and put my attention on what comes up. But what I can tell, and if I'm wrong about this, please let me know in the comments, is that there's less of a focus on how to take conscious control over the awareness side of things. And this is really important that we do, because if you haven't got something in your awareness, then your attention can't go to it. So not only does attention move around within awareness, but the size and shape and quality of awareness will constrain attention as well. So an example I often use here is, let's say you're working on a project at a computer for hours, you're in flow, it's great. And then after a while, you come back to yourself, you realize that you had to use the bathroom a few hours ago. And you recognize that the feeling of having to go to the bathroom was there, the feelings of pressure and all that was there. But somehow you hadn't noticed, or it hadn't registered to you, that this was something you could take action about. And then, oh, now I should go deal with that, fine. So what was going on there is that you were only kind of tangentially aware of it. You weren't aware enough of it, or perhaps you weren't even aware consciously of it. Only part of you was kind of monitoring, and then it became a strong enough signal that you had to take action. But what we see here is that having expanded awareness gives us more choice. It gives us more possibilities to take action. So right now, I'm aware of the camera, and I'm aware of my kitchen. I'm aware of everything else going on. So I could keep talking to you, and I will, or I could go and make myself a tea if I wanted to. That's within my awareness. If that weren't in my awareness, I couldn't do it, because it's not something that I would be able to direct my attention towards, or indeed my intention, my volitional movement towards the idea of doing that. So this is one of the reasons I think it's super important to understand that awareness itself, not just attention, is something that we can manipulate in a positive way, and that we can get comfortable with exploring its own characteristics, which are very, for me, distinct from attention. So awareness is much more to me like a wide open 3D filter than it is something that you can direct. Although I do talk about awareness in the context of, are you aware of the space above you, behind you? You can shape it. For me, it has the qualities of a three-dimensional shape. So an example, I'll go here now. You've had this experience, I'm sure, where you're at some kind of a party or a networking event or something where there's three of you in a group who are really into the conversation, there's something very meaningful going on or just important to you. And then that they're the only thing really in your awareness. You kind of, there's a bubble around you. And then a fourth person comes along, clearly kind of trying to get in on the conversation, break into the group, waiting for the right time, make themselves known. And you see them and you think, I don't want to, no, not yet. We're in the middle of something, we'll come back to you in a minute. And what you do at that moment is you actually shape your awareness around them. So you cut them out and you're with the people that you're talking to. What's fascinating about this is that everyone knows this. It maybe not consciously, but there is a felt sense of the person being excluded. They know that they're not in your awareness, and that it might even be a conscious choice that you're making there, depending on how sensitive people are to this stuff. But it's very much testable, falsifiable. Go off and play with it. It's good fun. So coming back to the topic, attention moves around within awareness. Both of these things are within our conscious control. But we tend to overtrain or overthink about, I think, the attentional element of things. And when I talk about expanded awareness, I really mean that awareness side of things. So a bit of a rambly one, mostly just to test my my new camera and lens. Very, very cool. So hopefully there'll be an uptake in quality, and I will talk a lot about this topic more in detail. But in case that was of interest, that's how I see the difference between attention and awareness. So thanks for watching, and see you next time.